Because y'all want to know the real truth? Here's the real truth. I love being single. I love it. I love being single. I love my solitude. I love my alone time. I love my freedom. I thrive being single. I love my solitude. I do. I love my alone time. I love my independence, regardless of what that looks like. I love it. I love the simplicity of being single. I love the peace of being single. And don't get me wrong, I love people, but there are a lot of times, sometimes where I'm just not a people person. And a lot of that has to do with like healing and, going through generational trauma for relatives and siblings and just weeding all that out and, healing, healing old cycles, healing generational trauma, healing ancestors, healing the bloodline, realigning myself. And for so long, I just gave and 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 gave. And I was a people pleaser in a sense, and not always, but in a lot of ways. And I was always just giving more and more and more and more of me. And I'd always take my bouts of time away and to seclude. And, as Cancer, Gemini, Moon Libra, which I wish I had all those papers that one of my once upon a time dear old girlfriends had these Mayan papers and all this whole astrology chart for me. And it was somewhere, and oh my gosh, I would do anything to have all those. There's so many memorabilia stuff that are so sentimental that I would do anything to still have, because items and pieces of paper and ticket stubs and photos and letters, oh my god, I saved all my notes from middle school and high school, and like all of them. I would just save things like off of my wall and posters, and I'm that type of person. Like all of that stuff matters. Like I even saved like room keys from this journey, and I just save random things that remind me of things that become extremely meaningful, that my intuition calls to. Like I'll pick up random rocks sometimes. I'll pick up random leaves, but then the leaves crumble, so you have to get those taken care of right away, or you can't save them. But I'm just I'm a saver. Anyways, what was my point? Oh yeah, the type of person I am, relationships, I like being alone. Oh, so I feel like after all of that giving and giving and giving, it just got to the point where it was just like enough. And I went through another spiritual awakening. My identity was just swapped and all this crazy stuff. It was like I wasn't even me. I literally wasn't me. I literally was not me. Like, I wasn't me. I wasn't me. I wasn't me. I was unrecognizable. Like, my spirit was unrecognizable. My attitude wasn't even mine. My mindset wasn't even mine. Like, it was literally like I was in somebody. It's like Chris Brown's song, I woke up in whatever, Chris Brown's body or whatever. It was like I literally was somebody else. I was completely someone else. I was like, this is not my mindset, because my mindset, even through all the years of giving and giving and giving and having, I had some different times in my life where I was depressed, and looking back now, I know exactly why, and I know what the cause of it was. And even then I knew why, to be honest with you. But things are a lot different when you're a teenager and you don't have adult privileges, and you can't just leave a house that you don't want to live in, because as soon as I left, I was way better. Which is why I dropped out of high school, because I was like, I cannot spend one more minute or day in the house with my mother and that craziness. So when I dropped out of high school, I told a little fib to drop out of high school, and then I went and lived with my big sis, who was pregnant at the time, and her husband, who I adore, and he is in recovery from stomach cancer, and I pray and I'm always wishing him all the positive healing juju. And then they got a new house, and they had his, a long lost, what they thought was his daughter, which later on he found out is not even his, which how crazy is that? Anyways, love her, hope she's doing well, always wish her the best. I nannied for all my siblings. I watched their kids. I raised them. They all always seemed like, I always felt like they were like my little niece kids. They were like my niece daughters. But anyways, the point is, and I was like, no, I need to go back to school and finish, and I'm glad I did. Because I'm actually very, very smart. I was like, got on the honor roll straight A's freshman year, and then nobody else cared. I didn't care, and then life just went different ways, and I was on a whole spiritual journey. But it all was purposeful, and I know now why, and I'm not going to explain it all. But anyways, the point is, I do like being single. And that's the thing, is I like being single, and it's so easy for me to stay single because I enjoy being single. And that's why part of me is like, if I just, even if I ended up just like, if something ended up happening and if God's will was for me to just get knocked up by somebody who I don't know and never see again, then that would be God's will, and I'd probably be all right with that. No strings attached. But if God's will is for me to be in a relationship with somebody and have that go, then, that's God's will. But I would have a child in a professional manner in a contract manner. Like, that's how I would have my next baby. It would have to be one of those either two things. And then if it was like a relationship, what would be cool is if I like had a baby and then had a surrogate at the same time. So then it was just like, I'm pregnant and then I have a baby in surrogacy, and then 2 kids, boom, they have each other to hang out with. And then, the relationship doesn't even have to be, it can be a forever relationship, but it doesn't have to be like a marriage forever relationship. It can just like eventually just be a friendship. I'm totally okay with that because, people change and people grow and people want different things long term. And I've seen so many different relationships where people get held back because one person doesn't want the same thing as the other person, and then that person's no longer like pursuing their dreams all the way, and then it's like both of them never ever really reach their full on potential because of that. And I just think that would super suck. And so it's better off that's why I'm pro divorce. That's why it's like it's better off in relationships like that people part ways. So if you've got one person who's like, oh, I want to retire and have a little freaking home and go travel the world and an RV, and then you have another person who's like, oh no, I like want to reach the stars and never quit, and then they come to a happy medium, then it's like they're both not actually doing what they want to do. So I just think that's stupid. So I don't ever want to get into a relationship like that, which is a huge reason why I've never had kids again, and a huge reason why I was like just totally fine with not having a freaking boyfriend. Oh my gosh, shit, I just ran the fuck out of my phone battery. I gotta get to the gym, and I literally clean and reorganize my car every day. It has to be cleaned out and reorganized every single day because it's such a small space and there's so much stuff in it. And I like to keep it organized and neat, but I like to keep it like things come in, things come out, things come in, things come out. I like to keep it. And we just got laundry yesterday. The school's so great to help us with doing laundry at the college Epic campus, which is such an awesome campus. So I need to get all that folded and put away, and I need to get to the gym. I did my physical therapy for my walking, because even when I'm walking, I'm doing physical therapy. When I'm stretching, I'm doing physical therapy. Like, all of this is rehabilitation for my body's alignment, for the left side, the right side, evening it all out, blah, 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 because I'm going to live young and youthful forever. But I need to say that. I need to get all of that out. I need to put it out there in the universe. Magic into the stars. But again, I'm like organic, so it's like I don't want to meet anybody. I'm not going to do dating apps. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just like an organic person, and really it's not even my focus. It's not my focus, but I'm definitely open to that. So I'm putting it out into the universe and opening up that idea and possibility for my future. But I'm not I'm not married to it. So, lots of ideas going in this whole new life ahead of me. Because there's so many different possibilities and so many different lives I want to live still. So many.